everyone, welcome to Yardage official YouTube channel. I'm super excited to have you here. Thanks for joining me. So I'm beginning with a series of first videos on learning how to sew. So as I learn, you learn. We'll be using a Vogue pattern for a high-waisted formal pants. I'll take you through the whole process from beginning to end, teaching you how to use the sewing pattern pieces, making your own, cutting out the fabric, and then piecing the entire garment together. So along the way, I will teach you tips and tricks that I have learned. So please stay tuned for the next few videos. And remember to like and subscribe for more great content. So each pattern comes with various diagrams of different panels that you'll be using. It would come with a glossary of how to prepare the pattern, the different types of markings and symbols that are used on the pattern. So if this seems very daunting to you, if you have never used a sewing pattern, not all sewing patterns are as straightforward and simple as this one, but let's get to it. So it would have an outline of the panel you're using. Each pattern piece comes in different sizes as indicated on the front side of the package. So have a look at the number that's corresponding to your size, and you can then cut out the pattern piece according to each marking. In a separate video, I'm actually going to show you how I make my own pattern pieces from this so that I can reuse this brown paper piece. As we're working and as we continue through the series, I will detail each and every marking that we work with, what they do, and how to use them. So now let's have a look at the front packaging of the pattern. So for the purposes of this video, we will be using a Vogue V9282 pattern. So this is a high-waisted formal women's pants. And I've actually already made view number C on this pattern for a client. But this time we will be making view number A. I will also include a link in the description of this video should you want to purchase this pattern yourself and follow along with me. For the more beginner sewists, I will also include a link to a website where you could download free sewing patterns and get them printed at your local printer shop or on A4 pieces of paper on your own printer. Those patterns are a bit less daunting and easier to follow. If we look at the back of the packaging, at the top on the label, it would have the different sizes that the pattern comes in. So this goes from 6 to 22. It would have the various bust, waist, and hip measurements. So as you take your measurements, please make sure that it corresponds with the correct size that you want to work with. Carrying on, the pattern suggests certain types of fabric that would be the easiest to work with. If you would like to be innovative, you could use your own type of fabric. So this pattern piece suggests crepe back satin, gabardine, or lightweight denim. So when I used this pattern to make view number C, I used gabardine. So underneath the fabric suggestions, it would have the yardage. So according to each view and each size you're working with, it would tell you how much fabric you are going to need for the project. On the left-hand side, it would have it in inches. On the right-hand side, it would have it in centimeters. So we are working with view number A. And then size number 14. So again, if your fabric, the width of it is 45 inches, we will need 2.5 yards of fabric. Below the yardage, we would have notions. So these are extra items that we're going to need, like zippers, buttons, and so forth. So for view number A, we will need a 1 7-inch zipper, 1 hook and eye, and 4 3/4-inch buttons. And at the bottom, again, it would have the finished garment measurement. When looking at the instruction manual, again, we would have the line art on the top. It would show you the various pattern pieces linked to each view. It would show you which pattern pieces you're going to need for your project. So if we look at this, we will need pattern pieces 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for view number A. At the bottom, we just have, again, body measurements. And what I like about these patterns as well, it gives us a fabric cutting layout. So if we're working with 45-inch wide fabric, it would give you the first layout. This just makes it easier to fit everything in and try and save as much fabric as possible. It would also have a section where we use or cut out the interfacing. At the bottom, we will also just have a section of the layout for the interfacing. We would then also have a glossary of different terminologies that are used in this pattern. I will go through this with you practically as we sew the piece together. And then finally, step by step, it would explain to you how we put this pattern piece together. So just as an example for views A and B, the first step is to fuse the interfacing to the front pieces. It would also suggest finishing the outer edge of the front self-facing. So what I like to do is after I have cut the fabric, I serge the entire piece. This would just make it easier as we will be opening the seams of this piece. Thanks so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next video that I'll be posting where we will actually be pinning the pattern pieces to the fabric, and I'll give you a few tips and tricks on how to accurately cut the fabric. Like and subscribe if you've liked this content, and also to follow us on our journey on learning how to sew.